Welcome back. The Early Childhood Development Teachers Union has called on Minister of Basic Education, Siviwe, Gwarube, to listen to the grievances of grade R teachers. The union wants permanent employment and benefits like medical aid and pension funds. Joining us is Union Representative Dr. BJ Langa. Dr. Langa, thank you so much for your time and for joining us this evening.
It is my pleasure to have me, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. A very interesting and upsetting topic, I can imagine, especially for those teachers that have given their all in educating grade Rs. Maybe let's just go back and for you to explain to us why is it that 30 years on, grade R teachers have not been absorbed into the Department of Basic Education in terms of the benefits and then being recognized as permanent employees?
Let me start first by a commemoration, just a salutation. In the teachers' classroom order, the demise, the segregated, those that are being neglected, hence you saying, why aren't they part of the system?
Yes.
And that's a question we should be asking ourselves because, a state, or meaning the functionality of a government is to take care of its own state-employed members. And in this case, they are the state-employed teachers, so-called. But since the inception of grade R, even when they had to bring integration to the mainstream in '98, in 2001, they rolled it out. I have teachers now. I am coming here. I'm actually mourning. You see, this black might be part of mourning because a 63-year-old has passed. Have been teaching for 30 donkey years. Now children are asking, Mom, you have been a teacher. We expect that you are a public servant. They find out that there is no pension fund to start with that can actually push their lives. Some of them go to school. And when they went back to investigate and check what really happened is that Mom has been actually being put under what you call a fixed term contract. And Mom is, in terms of qualifications, she has your relative, equivalent qualifications, and there's value there that is actually, equally to those that are actually in grades, higher grades, your grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4.
Right.
But the treatment proceeds, and interchanging because of the politics of the country and the transitioning that we find ourselves in. Because remember, this is what we call a post-apartheid reform, which I believe today that they failed to give honor to the grade R teachers, not even forgetting the ECD teachers. You see, and these are, or I would say, teachers that you have actually proclaimed and declared as being essential and an elementary phase, of humanity.
Of course.
Because me and you, the reason I'm saluting them is because I'm the product.
That's where it all starts.
Yes, I'm the product of that.
So what's the response of the department over the years in saying why these teachers are not integrated into the system?
The response is vague because nobody takes responsibility. We have never actually run an accountability campaign until now. This is now that they are going to feel the heat and they will actually experience the teeth, whether unionized or whether it's associated or an organization. We have actually now, together with all the teachers, and they've raised hands and said, enough, it's enough. Hence, we're not asking them to whether come into talks. We are saying this is about time. Hence, we're saying to the incoming minister that you can actually build your career with this by doing the right thing. If they failed in the tenure of Dr. Mandela in '98, and they still failed again in the tenure of Mr. Ramaphosa, so what is it that shall be done, meaning in the future? So we need to see to it that the minister, brings forth resolutions pertaining to this matter. We want him, her to make sure that she reinstate, the grade R, educators, and make sure that they are actually brought back to the system, because phasing out their education is more like taking what they've studied, you know,
Yes.
which is also, it is a loss of money put in a dustbin, you know, overnight without any proper consultation.
We're running out of time, Doc, and I really want to pack in as much as possible. They are phasing out the diploma that was done by these teachers
Yes.
for grade R. What are the implications? I mean, this phase out happened abruptly, and I can imagine that many of them have spent so much money and time in educating themselves. What then happens to those teachers going forward?
You see, these things, they cannot happen abruptly. And if they do, then it shows you maladministration and also lack of public or private participation, particularly the ECD and the grade R teachers were not involved.
Okay.
As I said, that they are demised. So now, in other words, when you phase out a qualification, of this magnitude, because these were the people, the base in terms of those who were actually now working with our children from the playtime education to the clean slate education.
Yes.
And then now you are phasing them out. So it's more like you are wiping them out of your system, but it's more like wiping them out of South Africa. They don't exist. Their qualification, that diploma, doesn't exist. I have thousands of them, and they are forming even forums now. They become, a diploma in grade R stragglers. And then why? Because of this misdemeanor that the government has put us in. So we actually not fight. We are trying to assist the government, you know, to assist the process, to say these things cannot be done this way. When you do such, you actually, as a government, must begin to now formulate a structure that can deal with this matter, and make sure that in confidence you also bring the teachers in confidence for capacity. And then if that is the case, then a budget must be allocated so that you can bring them on board and then empower them, impart knowledge of in them that will be equivalent to the curriculum which you have actually borrowed, you know, from the West.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time. You've handed over your memorandum. The minister was not there to accept it. Is there hope that this will change? No,
it shall change. We're having a meeting with the minister in this coming week, and we said it very clear. That's not just a memorandum being handed over, it's a dignity memorandum. It's either you dress them, Minister Gwarube, or not. If you don't, then you are actually proclaiming yourself as the #1 enemy of men and women that are serving this country and being treated like that.
Right.
So we want to make an assurance that, you know, a memorandum must be respected, because that memorandum represents the tears, you know, of all those unemployed grade R diploma holders and the ECD entrepreneurs.
Doctor, we have run out of time. Thank you so much for your efforts. We certainly do hope
we really appreciate
that
the
these
time.
pleas do not just fall on deaf ears. That was Dr. Langa speaking to us there about the grade R teachers who have been disenfranchised for 30 years in South Africa's democracy.